Good evening and welcome to this special edition of Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Anna Stansfield. Thank you for joining us. Tonight, we take a look back at stories from the Sports Bureau, from celebrating the anniversary of an historic moment for the UArizona basketball team to the latest food offerings at Chase Field.
March 31st marked the 25th anniversary of UArizona's national championship run in 1997. Cronkite News reporter Ryan Blake takes us on a trip down memory lane of that championship and what the title meant for the team.
Honestly and truly, I don't think anybody in their wildest imagination would have had any idea what was coming.
We weren't the best team, but we got hot in that 6-game stretch.
I think if anybody told you at the end of that season that team would go on a run and win a national championship in the tournament, you would have said they're crazy.
After losing their final 2 games of the regular season, the Arizona Wildcats entered the 1997 NCAA tournament as a 4 seed in the Southeast region and an afterthought for title contention. But 6 games later, the Wildcats shocked the country and delivered Arizona its first and only national championship.
It's the greatest tournament run in the history of the NCAA tournaments. 3 number 1 seeds we beat to win the national championship, the only time that's ever been done. 3 of the winningest programs in the history of college basketball, in Kansas, in North Carolina, in Kentucky.
You cannot ask for a better opportunity against the blue bloods of college basketball and to be able to knock all 3 of them off. And really, when no one gave us a chance to win any of those games, that makes it even sweeter.
25 years later, it is still a shining moment that will never fade.
Out of all the championships I've won, all the basketball experiences I've had over my lifetime, that NCAA championship, man, there was no greater feeling than that.
This was a dream come true for everybody affiliated with Coach Olson and Arizona basketball. And to actually witness the game was one of the most special nights of my life.
For the players, delivering head coach Lute Olson his only national championship during his 24 years in Tucson is an unforgettable moment.
It means the world to me that we were able to provide that for Coach Olson. Getting that championship really solidifies you in the coaching realms of being a Hall of Famer, and Coach Olson was that every single day of his life. And so we were the one that actually got it done and were able to solidify that for Coach O. That's what really means the most to me.
Each year during March Madness, the players reconnect and reminisce about cutting down the nets. In Phoenix, Ryan Blank, Cronkite News.
From the Sun Devils to the Wildcats, Arizona's women's basketball team lost to the Colorado Buffaloes 45-43 in the quarterfinals of the Pac-12 tournament yesterday. Cronkite News reporter Brianna Isbell was in Vegas to catch the action.
Well, it's official. The Arizona Wildcats will be joining the Sun Devils on the road home as they face a tough loss against the Colorado Buffaloes, trailing behind by just 2 points.
The margin of error is very slim at this time of year. I always say it's never down to the last shot or the last play. It's the missed layup in the first quarter. It's the missed box out, or it's the and one. It's those things that, they accumulate at the end of the game, and then you lose by 2 points.
I don't think we shot that poorly in our past, but some days just go like that. I don't think there will ever be a time, at least throughout Maddie's career being here for the next 3 years, where the top three-point specialists go 2 for 24. Or what did we combine for? I think 1 for 16. That won't happen again.
While the Wildcats may not have a future in the Pac-12 tournament, head coach Adia Barnes says the NCAA tournament is what they have their sights set on moving forward.
We're a good team. That we've had some bad losses lately, but we've beat some really good teams throughout the year. And the first one I can name is Louisville, but there's a list of them. So we deserve to be in a tournament. We deserve a seed, and we deserve to play at home. And I think the committee will recognize that and see that. And those are some really smart people, so I think they know what to do and they'll do the right thing.
Although the Wildcats have seen the end of the road for their time here in the Pac-12 tournament, there was no denying the energy both the Arizona fans and team brought to this stadium. The Wildcats will remain hopeful for a good seed in the NCAA tournament. In Las Vegas, Brianna Isbell, Cronkite News.
In sticking with UArizona basketball, after a postponement due to COVID-19, the university was finally able to honor their legendary basketball coach during halftime at McHale Center yesterday. Cronkite News reporter Lindsay Zienti was down in Tucson to see the ceremony.
Lute Olson's name will be forever tied to the University of Arizona basketball program. The Arizona Wildcats commemorated the late Tucson legend at last night's game versus the Stanford Cardinal. Olsen may have primarily spent his time at McHale Center, but his presence was always felt beyond the basketball court.
I mean, I just think back to all the things, people have told me about their experiences with Coach, and, very little of it's basketball. A lot of it's just being just a normal human being in the communities.
College golf's regular season is coming to a close as teams get set to potentially play in the NCAA tournament. But as Cronkite News reporter Ashley Engel tells us, some are preparing for the biggest tournament of their amateur golf careers.
When one thinks of Augusta, they may think of the Masters. But what Arizona State women's golfers Ashley Menny and Alexandra Fursterling think of is playing at the Augusta Women's Amateur on the unforgettable course.
It's a really great opportunity to actually go there and experience the whole situation.
Fursterling has been dreaming of playing at Augusta for as long as she can remember. Finding out that she achieved her goal to play in the ANWA was the highlight of her year.
I worked towards that goal, and I'm happy that I could achieve it.
Alongside the senior, Ashley Menny will be by her side teeing it up in Georgia, with this being her second year as a Sun Devil golfer. With the selection pool being small, Menny was excited to know she would turn her dream into a reality this early in her amateur career.
With this being both Menny and Fursterling's first time heading to Augusta, the two are glad that they have one another to cheer each other on, one swing at a time.
It's nice to have someone that you can definitely rely and count on in the field with you. It's going to be fun. We're definitely going to have a great experience together for sure.
The ANWA is no stranger to the Sun Devil golf team, as they have sent other players to Augusta before. With the ANWA being right before conference play and the NCAA National Championship, Coach Farkay wants Menny and Fursterling to focus on Augusta.
Enjoy every minute, because even just, it really is the one rare occasion where really just being invited and playing is one of the coolest things ever that they will have in their resume for the rest of their lives.
With the players' hard work paying off, both Menny and Fursterling will have a terrific experience at Augusta. In Tempe, Ashley Engel, Cronkite News.
I was so excited when I learned that I was going to be the next moderator of Washington Week. I was incredibly lucky to be mentored by Gwen Eiffel, and what that gave to me was this confidence that I could be my full self and that I was deserving of whatever spaces I was in.
Welcome to Washington Week.
I also feel this great joy in taking the helm of Washington Week, knowing that I can mold it and make it my own, but also make sure that it is still within the legacy and the tradition that made it so great for all of these years. What you get from Washington Week that you will not get anywhere else are the best and the brightest reporters from different media companies, and they're able to have a real conversation about things that are happening in Washington and around the country. But it's also a show about issues that are relevant to different communities.
How do you think that?
As the moderator, I feel this deep responsibility to bring in those other perspectives so that people understand how power and politics impact their daily lives.
Friday nights at 7 on Arizona PBS.
Passport is adding new shows and doubling the number of episodes for you to stream. For the first time ever, our most popular programs have been selected just for you.
But there's so much more.
Whether you like to travel,
Wow.
feast,
and calories don't count.
look back,
That is me.
discover.
You know the whole story.
There's something for everyone.
Let's get to it right away.
Stream on any device with Passport on the PBS Video app.
Inclusion in sports is the mission of one Valley man who wanted to create an opportunity for people with disabilities. Cronkite News reporter Ryan Blank has more on the birth of Mikeys League and how it continues to grow.
In 2019, Carl Bender created Mikeys League, a sports group for kids with disabilities. The organization honors Bender's brother, Mikey, who was born with cerebral palsy and a backwards heart.
Originally, it started in his memory, but it slowly changed. It changed into that I wanted to create the bond that my brother and I and him and the other neighborhood kids had.
The league's vision is to give kids with disabilities an outlet to play sports that they hadn't had before.
Playing sports and teamwork and have fun.
I get to see everyone hang out with them.
Coming here, he knows the kids that are here, and there's a community here, and it's a safe place, and it's a place to have fun. Everyone here is accepted, and there's no judgment.
Society treats these kids with kid gloves. They want to be treated just the same as anybody else. So that was the whole purpose. We want to make sure that they're getting the same experience that they see their brothers, their sisters getting at their sports leagues.
I'm a firm believer that sports is kind of one of the best treatments out there. Anyone who's played sports knows all the benefits of sports. So when Carl came to me with his idea of starting a sports program, it was a no-brainer to get involved.
When Mikey passed away in 2008, Carl was in the Army, deployed in Iraq. He returned home for his brother's funeral, which in turn saved him from another tragedy.
As a big brother, you're always there to protect and be there. And just couldn't be there at that time. It was devastating, but there's a silver lining to it. Due to his passing, I got to come home for his funeral. The day of his funeral, my unit got hit with a big IED, and I would not be here if it wasn't for him.
Mikey's memory lives on with the league that continues to grow. In January, the organization partnered up with Connectability Athletics to further their mission.
One of our biggest things at Connectability is we take the dis out of disability, because they all have the ability, and it pushes them to the opportunities as long as you allow it to. We've been pushing the athletes. That's one thing that both of our companies have in common is we don't limit them. We like to push them to all their ability.
Mikeys League will continue to grow through partnerships to expand across the valley and beyond. In Tempe, Ryan Blank, Cronkite News.
The Geico High School National Tournament is underway, and AZ Compass Prep is ready to make a championship run. Cronkite News reporter Anya Rogers sees how the boys varsity basketball team is preparing for their competition.
With 8 players going to Division I programs next year, the AZ Compass Prep Dragons are competing in the Geico High School National Tournament as the only team from Arizona.
Just trying to get ready to go to Fort Myers and win 3 games and win a national championship, something that's never been done in the state of Arizona.
Coach Ed Gibson says that the Dragons have really been connecting and vibing, creating their own team culture.
Just as a team, you know, we play defense. We're going to get out on the court. We're going to play hard, play together, play smart.
The Dragons will open at the Geico Nationals against Montverde of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, the same team they lost to in the semifinals last year.
It's almost like a little rivalry now because we played them twice last year. We both of them, one game went into overtime, and the other one we lost on a three-pointer that we missed. So it's going to be a good game. They're a great coach team. They got a lot of former guys that's in the NBA, and we're trying to make a name for ourselves, so it's going to be good.
You know, they have the top players in the class, Tariq and all that. So right now we're trying to work on our defense, make sure we're pressuring the ball, stuff like that, and executing really.
The Dragons started their season ranked #1 in the country and are currently ranked #7, but ready to end #1 at Nationals. In Chandler, Anya Rogers, Cronkite News.
After a busy offseason, the Sun Devils welcomed a large number of new players to camp. One of the new faces is a former Saguaro wide receiver. I had a chance to talk to the sought-after recruit, find out what led him to stay home. Fresh off a state championship at Saguaro, Javen Jacobs enters the fold at ASU spring practice as an early enrollee. Jacobs rocks the same number 8 in camp that he wore in high school, and the same number 8 fellow Saguaro and Sun Devil alum DJ Foster wore. The wide receiver feels like he's in the mix to make an impact next season.
I just want to make the most of all my opportunities. You know, whether it's on special teams or on the field, I want to play, you know, I want to be in the mix.
ASU was Javen's first offer, which meant a lot for the hometown kid who grew up going to games at Sun Devil Stadium.
You know, staying home I felt was always an option for me since they were my first offer. And, you know, ASU they kind of just, you know, recruited me pretty quick.
Javen's dad, Ja'Cory, exposed him to ASU football at a young age and isn't sure what emotions will hit him when his son takes the field for the first time.
You know, to be honest, it's going to be surreal, man, to actually see him run out of that tunnel.
Ja'Cory is one of the many mentors Javen had throughout his life. Another one is his high school receivers coach, Rudy Burgess, who played under the lights right here at Sun Devil Stadium back in the early 2000s. The two share a bond over their similar play styles and over a pair of gloves.
Me and him have a lot of similarities in our gameplay and the way that coaches use us, you know, and our versatility to help the team. And, you know, it's pretty funny story also is that he credits a lot of his success to these gloves that I gave him.
After earning those game-worn gloves, Javen went on to throw for a touchdown pass in a game, just like his coach did at ASU. ASU has one more week of practices before the spring game on April 9th.
She's a mother of 2 and works 2 jobs, but this Tucson fighter has her sights set on big things for her MMA career. Cronkite News reporter Parker Dunn gives us a look at her journey and what the future holds.
Rosalind Chavira's path to the MMA world was an eventful one. It started when she was young and used to get into fights at school.
My brother would get bullied a lot in elementary school, and when we were younger, he wouldn't really defend himself. I felt bad for him, so I would defend him.
The fights escalated to a point where Chavira's mother had to step in.
One day, the cops were called, so she was like, all right, that's it, I'm taking you to the boxing gym. Started training, and I didn't start competing until I was 19, but I started training when I was 14.
Soon after her introduction to boxing, Chavira became pregnant and gave birth to her daughter when she was 15 years old. This presented challenges in pursuing her new passion.
I knew that everybody around me was like, all right, you're done. You're gonna be a mom now. And in my mind, that was my priority, but I always knew that I was gonna keep going.
After having success in boxing and even winning the Arizona State Golden Glove competition in boxing in 2017, she decided to make the transition over to the MMA.
The gym that I was training at was half MMA, half boxing. And I would see the MMA fighters train all the time. And then I just thought to myself, I want to try it one day. I reached out to one of the coaches and then I started right away.
Chavira now balances training while raising her daughter, a process she feels helps make her a better mom.
It's taught me discipline and hard work, and I'd like to lead by example.
Chavira's training coach at Dominate Fitness and MMA sees her discipline on full display every day.
She's actually a lot of fun. She's probably the easiest out of the team to train with because of her attitude, her personality. It just makes it enjoyable. No matter how hard the practice is, she keeps her head down and just treks through, no problem.
Chavira got into boxing while helping protect her brother, and now is hoping to serve as a role model to her daughter through MMA. In Tucson, Parker Dunn, Cronkite News.
Chemistry among teammates is critical to success. ASU women's lacrosse has a specific dynamic duo who seems to be the life of the team. Cronkite News reporter Ashley Engel reports the chemistry between them is built in their DNA.
Chemistry on the playing field can take a long time to develop, but for ASU lacrosse players Gigi and Bella Gaspire, it's in their DNA.
We know each other better than obviously anyone on the field and like obviously in the world too. We've just been together forever.
The twins have been attached at the hip since birth and have been playing sports together since they were kids. The Canadians could have gone their separate ways in college, but ASU offered an opportunity for the pair to stay together since the two were a package deal.
We just have like these little things we do, little cues, we have like a secret language. So we like kind of we'll just pick each other up, just like it takes just a little quick thing just for us to just get like over it, like it's fine, next play.
Being twins, they just have that connection, and I think on the field and off the field it's kind of the same. They kind of know what each other's next move is, and they understand each other really well, but on the field they just have a really good chemistry.
The Gaspar twins say that the longest they've been apart from each other was 2 whole days. That shows that their togetherness on and off the field has provided them each with a grand deal of support.
I'll be her #1 supporter, but also, like she said, her hardest critic. And I think that also stems from a like really intense competition level that we have from each other, and that's on and off the field. We're always kind of pushing each other, and I think that's why we've been able to gain so much success.
Besides their love for each other, the Gaspars love the game of lacrosse and have the values of the team line up with their everyday lives.
They're just pretty fierce competitors across the board, so that motivates them to want to win and want to do the things that they need to put in order for that to happen for our team.
Not only does their strong bond show, but their determination and hard work on and off the field is what makes them the dynamic duo. In Tempe, I'm Ashley Engel, Cronkite News.
The daily life of a collegiate athlete can be pretty busy, filled with practices, classes, studying, and jobs. And that's the case for one ASU water polo player. Cronkite News reporter Parker Gray introduces us to one young woman who works every day to set an example for other student athletes.
For Amira Van Buren, every day is a balancing act. Between leading the women's water polo team and navigating her graduate program, Amira has learned to appreciate her role.
I was kind of thrown into it a while back, and I was super nervous about it. I've kind of just come into it and realized that it's really important for me to have the role that I have.
In the thick of her 5th year on the team, Van Buren continues to have a positive effect on her teammates and serves as a role model for all to follow.
Well, she's great. We love her all. She helps to everybody so much. Honestly, I'm really scared for the next year because she's leaving. She's one of the best leaders I've ever met.
Alongside her water polo role, Van Buren also works to complete her master's degree in social work and one day hopes to establish a career in the medical field.
I know I plan on getting my license. I'll be here in Arizona, so I've definitely been thinking about it, and I'm actually excited. So definitely want to stay in medical social work. Not sure about the population that I'm with, but definitely in the hospital is where I'm aiming to stay.
According to a 2016 research study, 85% of female student athletes report higher stress compared to 52% of non-athlete students. Van Buren acknowledges that her schedule can be daunting, but she is grateful for the strong support that she has around her.
I won't lie, it's really hard. It's just a constant cycle of go, 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 always going. There's never really a time to stop. I'm super grateful because I have a really good support system around me with my family and my boyfriend and my friends.
And Van Buren believes the lessons she's learned juggling academics and athletics will stay with her long after she scores her last goal for ASU. In Phoenix, Parker Gray, Cronkite News.
Something's heating up in Tempe, and it's not just the weather. ASU softball is on a hot streak of 18 consecutive wins and is now up to number 10 in the national softball rankings. Cronkite News reporter Parker Gray tells us what has been key to the winning streak.
Sun Devil softball is undefeated in their last 18 games. The last time the team felt the sting of defeat was March 5th, almost 6 weeks ago. As each win stacks up, the team improves further from where they began this season.
I just think we were kind of finding ourselves. We didn't know what we exactly had. Losing big key components last year with our team, I just think we had to figure out, okay, who's going to be the leaders, who's going to step up, and kind of we know who can do what now, and I just think that we're rolling with it.
While everyone has found and refined their roles, the team's collective energy has proven to be a driving force behind what makes the team click.
Energy can win a game, honestly. Whoever has the best mindset and energy really takes over a game.
I think it definitely goes into just giving us that aggression and momentum towards the games. Obviously during games, you don't want to see a quiet, shy team, but the energy behind it, I feel like feeds into our aggression into playing.
While the prolonged success has been an exciting ride for the Sun Devils, they want to be sure everyone knows one thing: they are not finished.
I think it's just like what you said, not to be satisfied, just to go out and think that we have this thing where we say everyone hates you. So if you think that everyone hates you, that gives you the aggression to go out and just play how we know how to play and just put up runs and do what we've been doing.
The team had spent nearly 3 weeks on the road before returning Thursday night in a walk-off win against Utah, and they hope to prolong their win streak in 2 more games against Utah this weekend. In Tempe, Parker Gray, Cronkite News.
The Arizona Diamondbacks revealed some new food options coming to the ballpark ahead of opening day. Cronkite News reporter Connor McGill looks into what fans can expect from the new offerings.
Baseball is back at Chase Field, and so are some new food options for fans to try. Here today, we were able to look at 28 different new food options, and there are plenty of things to choose from. We had the opportunity to speak with Senior Executive Chef Steven Tilder about some of these options.
Might not necessarily be 100% my own, but something that's either a classic recipe or something that's kind of popular, and I like to spin it my own way and do my own interpretation. But it's a lot of eating out, a lot of Instagram, a lot of saying, hey, this was really cool, but you get, what if you did it like this or change this around, and then we do a lot of test kitchen stuff upstairs.
Not only will fans get to enjoy some exciting new food, but some new vendors as well. Chick-fil-A, Black Rock Coffee, and Kremley Pops are just a few of the new stands coming to the ballpark. In Phoenix,
Embry Riddle University has one of the most decorated collegiate fight teams in the country. Cronkite News reporter Zachary Larson shows us how the program has been able to dominate in the skies.
Tucked away in the heart of Prescott sits the city's regional airport, also known as the home of the Embry Riddle Aeronautical University flight team. Prescott offers a unique airspace for the school to train, as the program has doubled its enrollment since 2018.
We are not necessarily in competition locally with our ability to fly and the airspace around us. So that allows us to manage our growth by knowing that expansion is capable in the north central Arizona region.
Instead, the school's competition comes from other aeronautic programs. Head coach Sean Shepard, who won a title as interim head coach last year, believes his students' dedication to flying is a big reason for the team's 13 national championships.
Usually the expectations that we have for our team
are that they're putting in 10 to 15 hours a week. So it's basically like your normal football player. You know, they have practice and they have video time, and then they also have the weights, and that's what we're doing as our team.
It's not only the planes themselves that set the Golden Eagle flight team apart from other aeronautic programs, it's these flight simulators that play a key role in developing the team's championship pedigree.
Having the availability of realistic flight simulators and stuff like that, especially how available they are, is it's a very large part of it.
Nimala, who is a senior captain on the team, had little experience with airplanes as a freshman, but he quickly fell in love with flying.
I flew maybe twice, 3 times, so I really didn't have a big grasp on what the aviation industry was all about when I came here.
Although students may be unfamiliar with the industry at first, Embry Riddle's ability to provide up-to-date planes and technology has given them an advantage over the other programs across the country.
Most of our airplanes that are out on our line are replaced, you know, every 5-6 years. The equipment, the sims, the same.
The next step for the school? Expand their fleet of simulators and a larger runway as it looks to welcome more students while continuing its dynasty at the competitive level for years to come. In Prescott, Zachary Larson, Cronkite News.
That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thanks for joining us. For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.